Our next speaker is Julia Veintrop. Welcome.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. So I am here on behalf of, I'm really kind of here on behalf of everybody that is involved in the cannabis industry. So I was elected to the board of directors for the VCBC, and I work there currently. So that is the oldest dispensary in Canada. It's 21 years. We've just recently lost Ted Smith, which is not a huge shocker given what's gone on. But what I came to talk to you guys about today was an issue that I was a little bit concerned about in October, and that is the cost of the 2016 Cannabis Business license fee. So basically, when I first saw this, and regulations coming, I saw that, Council approved regulations September and then basically started granting business licenses effective as of December. Now, every business has been charged $5,000, the full cost of the license fee for 2016 as well as 2017. And what I'm here today to do is to ask you guys to consider a compromise. The reality is the places that can afford to pay an additional surprise $5,000 are not the places that put patients over profits. In one fell swoop, you guys might be able to take out the majority of dispensaries that are really all about caring for their patients, because whether we're going to be able to come up with that $5,000 or not is redundant. The fact is that money is going to be, that is earmarked for something else, is going to be, coming out of the business. And the reality is this isn't something that is really put onto other businesses of this sort. According to, your own website, usually businesses licenses begin in January, so January 16th to the following year. And, from my understanding, business licenses are granted to a business so that they can help people to network, as well as to separate personal and company liability. When I brought this up to a council member, they mentioned to me that, there's a possibility that you could charge the $5,000 for every year that a place has been in business, mentioning that the VCBC could be charged $5,000 for 21 years of being in operation. But then at the same time, being given a business license for each of those years is also giving us a certain amount of protection from liability. So that would bring up the question of the validity of every warrant, every police raid that's gone on there, every bit of property seized, any patients that have felt uncomfortable from police presence. It's just such a nasty hullabaloo, and it's not necessary. At the end of the day, the amount of money the city is going to make off of a fee like this just isn't worth what it could take out of a lot of these businesses. So what I'm asking you to do is consider a proration, a compromise. $5,000 divided by 12 is $417 approximately. So if the city would compromise and consider giving each of these businesses, that $417 charge for December 2016, the $5,000 for the additional one, I really feel that that would be a little bit more fair, or at least something if we could consider some kind of a dialogue, so that that this surprise fee doesn't really blindside everybody. So that was the number one topic that I came here today to talk about. And then this week has gone on, and there has been so much craziness that's been going on. And I feel it is so necessary to say this to you, and I imagine you really don't hear this enough as council members, but I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your progression and for being so understanding and tolerant with dispensaries, not just from somebody who works there, but from somebody who is a patient there. 9 years, I've had 6 operations, and I still can't get my doctor to sign my ACMPR because he is just not comfortable. And if I don't even know anybody that sells pot anymore. I literally don't. It is all just people go to dispensaries, and that to me is such a victory. So, if I lived in Toronto or in Nanaimo right now, I could risk being arrested, and that isn't what scares me. It's more the idea of looking at the people that I serve and having to tell them that I can't give them what they need, that they have to take morphine and they have to throw up and they have to be really sick because our city just doesn't understand, and you guys do. And I really appreciate it. I know a lot of people do. So really, thank you.
Thank you very much. Final speaker in this section